The wacky world of MultimediaJay.
Nice and quiet. Just the way I wanted it. Unfortunately, I was a bit of a moron when hooking up that stuff earlier. So here's the update on what I ultimately wound up doing with those low-speed adapters. I wound up putting the low-speed adapters in, which brought the RPMs on all the fans down to under 1,000. And now basically what's going on is, yeah, it's nice and quiet like this. I also was an idiot, though, and I completely forgot about there were some features on the motherboard that were specific to the motherboard that I could have set in the BIOS and stuff like that to affect things like how fast the fans spin, how fast the processor is. So pretty much all my benchmarking and all my other numbers from the past who knows how long have been totally foobarred by it. Accuracy's probably been thrown way off, but just for the heck of it. That's the kind of noise we're getting. For this machine running in balanced mode, we're going to do a few things here. We're not just going to do like a redux of what we did last video. We're actually going to wrap things up and get that SSD installed. But first, let's just see, for archival purposes' sake, let's watch this thing boot up. Let's watch this sucker boot up with a SATA 2 SSD, the existing SATA 2 SSD that's currently in it. Well, first we'll watch it shut down, but, okay, my speakers, yep, they're at 20. It's heating up in here. It's like 80-something degrees out, so we might get the fans spinning up a little more than they did last time. Yeah, far cry from the polar vortex weather we had a little while ago. Zoom way out here. Oh, zoom. Lean back in the chair, I mean. Alright, let's watch this thing start up. Let's watch this thing start up in 3, 2... Oh, no. We gotta wait the 10 seconds and stuff like that. So this SSD that we're about to start watching, this SSD is actually a SATA 2 SSD from about 3 years ago. Push the button. So the transfer rate's not exactly what it could be. There are faster SSDs out there, and I intend on installing one of them. But just for archival purposes, let's just watch this thing boot up on SATA 2 one last time, with the reflection of the work light on the screen, and the focus screwing up because, yeah, Windows is booting. This thing's not used to filming computer screens. Maybe I should switch the white balance on the camera so it's not as blue, but then everything else will turn orange. Yeah, anyways. Starting Windows. This is real time, so... This is with a SATA 2 SSD. And then we'll see if things feel any faster with a SATA 3 SSD. There we are. There's the desktop and there's Steam. And yeah, I'm still using PS1 startup sounds as my computer startup sounds. So, okay. Looks like we have ourselves a computer. Do we have a... Okay, yep. There's everything that's plugged in, like the Kindle and stuff, all connecting up. And we started up with...
Avast virus database has been updated.
Avast screwing up my shots. Okay. Bye, Avast. Alright. Saturday, May 10th, 2014. 2014, yeah. CPU is at 35, GPU is at 41, outside is 76 in Fahrenheit. And we're ready to... start working on getting rid of this SSD. I'm kind of torn on how it is I want to do it. I don't really know whether I want to make an image file or do I want to direct transfer from the old SSD to the new SSD and pull the plug. But either way, we can't work on live systems, so let's shut the computer off again. Oh, no. Oh, screwball, messed up, epic fail. I want to do one last... Nova bench before taking this drive out. Oh, what the heck? The computer has been turned on again. And because we are filming a computer screen for the next chunk of this video, I've changed the white balance back to auto. Now, down on the quick bar, let's open this sucker up. So I've been making very, very heavy use of the Windows 7 power plan system. But I also found out that if we... Now what? Something must have a loose connection. I also found out if we go to the Catalyst Control Center, even though I have an NVIDIA graphics card now, Catalyst is still doing stuff with like the chipset drivers and stuff like that. So I go to Preferences, one of the big things I needed to check off was Follow Windows Scheme, because this thing does power profiles too. So I figured, let's not have any conflicts or anything, so let's do that, and as you can see, I mean, let's just close this and just reopen it. Boom, just like that. The Windows one loads faster anyway, so we might as well just have the AMD Catalyst just play monkey see, monkey do with whatever I select here. Unless there's some advanced features in the Catalyst stuff that I don't know about when it comes to power consumption. So what I've basically been doing is, for basic stuff, where I don't need a lot of speed, and I don't want to waste electricity and stuff like that, I've been doing these in Power Saver, and then when the games start up and the frame rate starts to stutter because of the power saving stuff, switch over to Balanced. I don't know if a newer processor would be better at switching modes or ramping up when games are going and then quieting down when games get closed down. But I've been noticing lately that it's a sizable frame rate difference between Power Saver and Balanced. It also throws off my benchmarks in Nova Bench too. So let's set this to Balanced and leave it there, even though I don't normally leave it there. And let's fire up Nova Bench one last time. This machine, assuming everything is set correctly, should get around a 1350. So let's just do one last Nova Bench. Close all the replica. Who cares? Alright. Floating points. It is the extra fan noise you're hearing now is the fan from me, not the computer. I've actually started using some quiet, low-speed fans again. It's almost summertime, what do you know? And yeah. It's May, so it's almost 80 degrees out. It's not something that those of us recently, I should say us, recently polar vortex New Englanders are going to exactly be used to. Till later this summer when 50 degrees starts feeling cold. Okay, where's my graphics? There it is. 1600, 1700, 1700, 16... that graphics performance is crap. I got 1800 frames a second on this thing earlier, except I think what the difference is I was playing with some of the overclocking stuff on the motherboard, so that might have had an effect. Oh, yeah. Something just... 1287? What did I do bad in? 567 for the CPU. I'm guessing the graphics must be low. There must be something going on with the graphics card that I gotta tweak here. Let's see. 1352 versus 1287. What do we got for it? 154, 154. 568, 567. Sounds about right. 605, 540. Gee, the graphics card sputtered. Alright, let's overclock this bastard. Apply. Let's try running this again. Let's see. Well, hopefully I don't cook the brand new card. It is a little hot out, so maybe it was turning down the speed to keep the temperature under control, but it never cleared 55 degrees Celsius. Alright, and of course, 2526 for the hardware tests on the disk write speed. So, let's try that again. Close the unsaved results, minimize that, close that, and rerun. Maybe I should get like Beavis and Butthead and go, cook, cook, cook. 1800, 1900, 1800, 1600, 1700. Much better numbers. How hot's the video card getting? 55, 52, yeah, got into the mid-50s. So, better numbers, right? 1365! That's more like it! And the video card didn't melt. 155, 571, 614, 25. Actually, I am going to save these bad boys. No, let's save these as the absolute best that I ever got with a SATA 2 SSD. Although I really don't think that a SATA 3 SSD is going to... I really don't think that a SATA 2 SSD is going to... SATA 2 to SATA 3 is going to bump the score that much. It really has to be a combination of everything. It needs to be a good graphics card, a good processor, good RAM, everything. It's all got to add up. It can't just be an improvement in speed. But anyways, we're looking to improve boot times here, as well as pave the way for more SSD action inside this system. I want to have a cheaper SSD just for my games. I'll save my Steam apps folder there and some other stuff to get faster load times in games that have obnoxious load times. Put World of Warcraft there, Guild Wars 2, etc. Games that get bogged by loading screens. Yeah, put them on that drive. So this system, 1365, 3-month average is 902. I think I'll just leave the video card a little overclocked for now. Not like it's heating up that much anyways. So, alright, time to shut the machine down for the last time with a SATA 2 SSD and figure out how exactly I want to install the new one. Shut down! And this is in balanced mode, so the processor will be faster when it's shutting down too. I was playing with unlocking the processor earlier and trying unlocking it, but I didn't like the unlocking a Phenom 2 turns off the temp sensor on the in the core. So I said, nah, okay, I'll stay with 3.2 gigahertz for now. Get a better processor if I want to do some more heavy-duty overclocking stuff. All right, time to tear the computer apart. Actually, no. Let's get a shot of the noise from these fans, which isn't that big of a deal. Running in reduced speed mode. Alright, shut the computer off again and start tearing this thing up. Now we're cooking. Looks like they've improved the aesthetics of their SSDs, which I really don't get. Why make good-looking SSDs if most of the time it's going to be sitting like this in a computer anyways? I mean, even if you have a computer with a window of it, okay, let's not fuss over the details here. This will finally get me up to SATA 3 speed on the SSD, so I'll be current on SSD speeds unless they get upgraded yet again. And there's a SATA 4 to come up with, basic stuff to work with, including a cable. I understand some of the cheaper SSDs don't come with cables these days, so people go on Newegg and they're like, "1 star, it doesn't come with a cable." Anyways, let's get this thing installed, darn it, and stop yip-yapping about this and start doing something. Still looking okay. EVGA is still working A-okay. Having some trouble with the fan though, so I think some of these cable extender things are starting to flake out again. But yeah, here's one of the things with the cable extenders coming out. So that it's kind of like an in-series resistor that cuts the max voltage or something along those lines. So where do I want to put this thing? Let's see. I think I'm going to end up putting this on the bottom of this cage. We'll put it right underneath the last SSD, which, how's that sucker looking? A little bit dusty, if I do say so myself. Yeah, let's put that here. Let's put that on this top cage, because trying to squeeze it in down here is going to be a royal pain in the ass. This case is on its last legs because the design is so horrendously outdated. Of course, I've got wires getting smushed here. I got wires getting smushed over here. No real great options for cable management except keep the cable away from the fans and leave plenty of space near the hottest components, if possible. So yeah, eventually I will be getting a newer, better case and finally putting this design, which I've been using for the past decade or so, out to pasture. Let's put the work light in here and shine it that way. And let's get this cage out of here. There's the old SATA 2 beast. Intel SSD 320 series. SATA 2 from about 3 years ago. 3 years, no problems. And now it's getting a buddy. Hooked up like a boss! Or something like that. I gotta get a new grounding kit though, because I don't know where my ground strap went. I can't be messing around with these sensitive circuit boards with just touching metal. Not good enough. Okay, switch flipping time. Fireballs, smoke shows, anything? No. Which is good. Alright. Button pushing time. In 3, 2, 1... Looking down, the two side fans are both still spinning. Good. Crappy cables aren't screwing everything up. Now, will the computer actually boot, or is it going to try and boot off the wrong SSD? So, as a side note, I am out of SSD ports without switching over to the two SATA ports, that's right. First, who's the idiot at Gigabyte that thought sideways SATA ports were a good idea? Moron. You're in there like, and you have big fat fingers like me, you're trying to reach in there without having to pull the whole board out. Yeah, sideways SATA ports, no good. Hey, cool, the computer booted. Either way, I'm out of them. The only way to install more SATA stuff now is to... Well, that thing sure is spinning up. The only way to install new SATA ports now is to use the Gigabyte SATA controller, the onboard SATA controller that's not actually part of the, the blue ones there. But come on, sideways SATA ports. Boo! All right. Now, can I use the Intel SSD toolbox or something to move what's on this SSD over to the other SSD and migrate everything that way? Because my ultimate goal is to do everything without closing the cover on the case. My ultimate goal is to do everything up and then pull the plug on the old SSD and see if this thing still starts up. Let's get to work. As I thought, another bare-bones version of Acronis that a drive manufacturer puts their brand name on and then uses that for data migration. Maybe I should become a bit more familiar with Acronis. It seems like Acronis seems to be more popular than something like Symantec Ghost or something. I don't know, I've been out of that game for too long, actually. So, source disk, the old SSD. Destination disk, the new SSD. So, going from SSD to SSD without having to mess with image files or anything like that. How? Okay, and the selected disk will be migrated as is. How fast are we talking here? We're talking a SATA 2 to a SATA 3. Go! And point that fan down a little more so it doesn't get on the recording. Okay, operation has started. This is running very much like Acronis. Shut down the computer when completed? Nay, nay. I just want to, well, I'm just being paranoid like that. No, the operation will be canceled. Wait, what? Computer restart? What's this nonsense? Or do we have to get out of Windows and it just made some kind of boot time event to copy everything over? Interesting. I'm just glad I'm not doing this. Earlier I was messing with my processor. I was turning off all the cores and seeing how slow it would be when it was single core. Glad I didn't do that before I started running this program. Oh, come on, close a folder. Yeah, I closed Core Temp by mistake and had to restart it from the folder because it's like an old DOS program. It installs into C and stuff. Oh yeah, that thing's really cooking now. I'm gonna take the. I'm probably going to end up taking the slowdown thing, the low speed. Whoa! And it's all orange, of course. Yikes! Yeah, we're going full blast now. Well, if the processor gets dangerously hot, an alarm will start going off. And I'll know that's to point the fan at it or something. Actually, yeah, I was messing with my system temperature by pointing the blower fan that you're now hearing off camera in the corner. I was pointing it at the CPU and watching the temp go down. It took off a couple of degrees and it had a super powerful blower fan on it. Alright, so we appear to have booted into some tiny version of Linux. I can tell from the text or something like that. There was a little text that flashed, and I recognized one of the programs. It was like, this is running off of some kind of Linux thingy or something along those lines. Well, then Gparted actually does the same thing, so, I mean... Alright, processing, please wait. So is there going to be a progress bar, or is this all that's going to be... Is this all we're going to see until the new drive is set up? Yeah. Okay, enough stupid, Alright. Yeah. I'm probably going to remove the low speed adapter from the 140mm fan that blows down on the CPU because I just found out that something blowing on this, even though the CPU fan cools the heatsink and stuff, something blowing at the CPU fan from above actually helps it out a bit. Makes me wonder if I should just hook up some kind of funnel or something to go from the 140mm fan and compress that much airflow down into, whatever goes onto the... Oh, it's an interesting idea. And, okay, we are going to have a progress bar. Copying partition. 8 minutes remaining for 100-something gigs. Sweet! Nice. Copying the system file over, and you can actually watch the progress bar inch along because it's not mechanical drives. Yeehaw! Done. Let me guess. I click the button, and because it's SSDs, it instantly shuts off. Click! Oh, sort of. Okay, moment of truth. The old SSD has been disconnected. 3, 2, 1, go. What we'll do is we'll make sure it boots first, and then we'll load up into Windows, run the SSD toolbox and optimizer, and then turn it off and see what we're getting for a boot speed. Alright. There's our usual stuff here. Windows. Howdy, folks! Ratty old shirt today. Although I totally rattied it up even more. I was cleaning the contact grill wearing a light shirt. Not a good idea. Fortunately, it's only a weekend shirt or around the house shirt, so I really don't give a darn about it. Anyways, okay, whoa, already. Here we are. Let's run the SSD optimizer and see what we get from a cold start here. Or see what we get for speeds versus the old drive. Okay, moment of truth time. We'll see what kind of boot speeds we're getting from here into Windows. 85 degrees up here, though, so it's almost time to open some windows and stop worrying about the videos being quiet. Although I have been filming with fans going, so ready, 3, 2, 1, go. That thing is spinning really quickly. Yeah. I'm going to take the speed limiter off of the 140mm fan that blows onto it. The 120mm can stay quiet, but this is just another reason why I need to upgrade to a case with 140mm fans. As you know, with the kind of airflow, I actually found out, I was looking at the cooler masters that I pulled out of the when I replaced everything with fractal design fans. The 140mm cooler master actually draws less current than the 120mm one did. So much for that. You know, fans drew more and more current until what? 120mm was the standard here? Okay. You know what? I was tossing around the idea of putting my old SSD into my netbook or something to speed it up. I think what I'm going to do, though, is try to reformat the old SSD and use it as a games drive for now. Install games that are plagued with issues related to loading times to it or something like that. Alright, those fans are, yeah, we gotta put this thing back together pronto. Make sure that everything can start up and then, yeah, get the airflow fixed in this case. This is exactly the reason why I put the side fans on. This sucker would spin way up, and it's very small, of course, up to 3,600 RPM or something like that. You'd hear it over everything else the minute you tried to do anything like play games or something. Alright. Alright, the weather's getting really lousy. Thunderstorms, the whole 9 yards, all kinds of nonsense coming through. So, one last Nova bench for the road. Although rumor has it, SATA 3 is not a noticeable improvement over SATA 2. Either way, it gives me a newer, bigger SSD, and then I can use the other one for games for the time being. Maybe pick up something cheap for my netbook or something like that. I actually got to see how much space am I really using up on that thing. And even if I was going to use it to service, you know, as a service laptop for service programs for computers, how much space do I really need? I mean, for the most part, I use laptops like they're TVs or something. So, 1350-ish is usually what these things can, is usually what this system can do. I don't know if the graphics card might throttle down because of heat or something. 1700, 1600, yeah, 17s and 16s. Might have to check the video card software again to see if it's overclocking or not. It's about 85 degrees in here, so maybe it should run cool for now. Ugh, $12.99. Where did we tank? Okay, the CPU did incredibly well. We tanked on graphics. Yeah. Let's see the. No, it's set to. It's set to 115%. Well, let's link the two. No, let's not link the two together. Let's set it to like 85 as a temperature, and then try that again. Actually, last time I went going nuts with stuff in Guild Wars 2, exhaust. I'm using my window fan as an exhaust, so $12.99. Let's see if we can break 1300 again. The CPU is 1700. Hardware test, yeah, 26. We usually got like a 25 or a 24 before. Not impressive results at all. Yeah, close them and just rerun. We'll do Nova Bench one last time here, and then we'll look for some more real-world results, aka I've already set up Guild Wars 2. So we'll test the load times for Guild Wars 2 with and see what we got going on with that. 18, 19, 19. Ah, good. I'm getting some better numbers this time. How hot's the video card? It's almost up to 60 degrees. What's the maximum? I think the target temp on that thing is 80 something, so it's definitely cool enough. Although I could theoretically unlimit that fan. Okay, there we go. Ooh, 1382. If it'll focus, 1382. 570 for the processor, good, that's the motherboard stuff, and then 630 for the graphics card, 27 for the hardware test. So we only gained about a point or so on hardware in terms of speed here. So nothing exciting, but hey, that's a new personal best. So 1382, let's save that sucker online, well, let's compare it online. It's a new personal best with the new thing I got going on here. 1382, please add that to my profile. It's a new personal best with the new SSD. 1382, Tuxedo's new high score versus the 1365 that we got earlier. So a little bit of overclocking on the graphics card, but the graphics card, the big thing I'm running into is it is getting a little hot, so I might have to unlimit that fan again. So I tried running Guild Wars 2 and I started hearing the fans on the graphics card go absolutely nuts. So speaking of Guild Wars 2, never mind. As soon as we're done getting whacked by all these crazy thunderstorms, we'll try some Guild Wars 2, if the lights are still on. Alright, looks like the thunderstorms are ancient history. Alright, now since I'm using the duplicate the disk via sync program thing to back up everything on my main mechanical hard drive, I actually still have Guild Wars 2 installed on a mechanical drive right here on the other drive. So let's fire up this Guild Wars 2 client and let's play some games here. I want to see if I can, let's clock the load time, that's right. We're going to run into a major city and clock the load time into a major city. Hello, Queensdale. Goodbye, Queensdale. Alright, stopwatch is ready to go. So let's go in and see what kind of load time we're rocking here. This is off of the mechanical drive. See what we get here. Going into Divinity's Reach, which is usually a very populated city. So this is the install of Guild Wars 2 that I still have on mechanical drives. See how big of a load time we're looking at here. About 14 seconds. Alright, let's head back out and let's try this again with the SSD install. Alright, SSD time versus 15 seconds on the mechanical drive. What do we get? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Where locals kick up their boots.
9 seconds. Definitely an improvement. And for games where there's lots of loading screens, like Guild Wars 2, it'll definitely be very, very noticeable. So I'm going to install Guild Wars 2, the original Guild Wars, World of Warcraft, and then see if I can use a utility like Steam Mover to move my Skyrim installation onto this SSD. And then I'll just have my my favorite games running off of the SSD with the improved load times. For any games that don't necessarily need a huge load time, or that aren't really too affected by load times, then we'll set it up that way. I might even move WoW back to a mechanical drive, because World of Warcraft is very good with avoiding load times. Probably the biggest and most annoying load time is when you log into the game for the first time. Otherwise, you only get load times when you change continents. But the only way that World of Warcraft could really be a notable improvement on an SSD would be if you ran lots of instances and raids where you'd get more load times that way. Anyways, as far as where we go from here, I'm going to use my old SSD as a games drive for now. But if I can find a killer deal on something that I can replace it with, then I will definitely replace it and move that drive out to like my netbook or something to basically bring some of this SSD goodness to some of these other systems that are still getting choked by their mechanical drives. Piano in particular, though I haven't used Piano since Windows XP went end of life. Haven't really figured out what I want to do there yet. But here's a Mushkin 240 gig for 120. So you have a Mushkin 240 gig for 120, but I think I saw a daily deal yesterday that was a SanDisk something or another. We'll have to keep an eye out and see what pops up. Anyways, it'll be interesting to use this and see what kind of benefits I can gain from this being a games drive. Otherwise, the next step, or the next best thing, would be to replace the main drive and the 2-drive array with some kind of hybrid hard drive. 1 terabyte hybrid drive that caches the most commonly accessed files to SSD memory. I've heard of those, but I haven't tried one yet. Maybe that might be worth trying if this SSD thing doesn't work out. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by.